we always have instinct. We have intuition. In the church, they might call it prophets and prophetess. In the street, they might call it psychic. They might call it they're empathic, or they're empathic in certain ways. All of us have that sixth sense. Every one of us. So I always tell people, if you want to learn, you have to be serious about it. You have to apply yourself. I have over 10,000 hours of it. Because this is something that I've studied. I got books upon books upon books, but yet I also study celebrities. I also study what's in my family. I also study things that I see, that I pay attention of, different things that are happening in the world. I study, and then I look at the frequency of when it happened, and I always see the patterns, cycles, and sequences at that particular time. So if you want to do it, you could take my classes, take Lloyd's classes, go to Udemy and take my 2-hour class, or you can go to that. Lloyd is very intricate with him, where I'm more flamboyant with mine, because I really tell people to look at all aspects of it. I'm not just going to say this, and try to read. That's why I tell people I don't read nobody. I actually consult you and advise you with the numbers so you can use it better in this realm. I'm not going to tell you how great you are and how beautiful you are with the numbers. Hell no. When you need to be helped to find your business or find your purpose and find to go where you go, that's what you need. And then you could find out how beautiful, and you already know how beautiful you look in the mirror every day. I don't need to tell you what you look like, what you are.
Right. If y'all just tuning in to Professor Griff, and this is Writer's Row with King Simon, and I have a distinct honor and pleasure on bringing on my other guest, who is always on time. He don't have a watch, so he just but he's my brother nonetheless. This is Writer's Row, where the pen meets the people and the consciousness sparks the conversation. Right here, we bring in some literary consciousness to the forefront. All right, King Simon. If you don't know Supreme Understanding, that's my brother King Simon and Supreme Understanding. Greetings. How you doing, sir?
Peace.
You all right?
I'm here a little bit late, but I'm here and I'm honored to be here.
No, it's no such thing as late when it comes to us. We show up when we show up. We used to say back in the day, the party don't start till we get there.
That's right. Ain't no party.
That's right. but you are late. But anyway, introduce yourself to the people and let them know who you are and exactly what you do.
My name is Supreme Understanding, and I'm an educational scientist. So, I study how we learn. I study how we teach. I study how we teach ourselves, because there is a good saying that one only learns what one teaches oneself. What one teaches oneself.
Right.
So, what it means to be autodidactic, like the late great J.A. Rogers was, and so many of our pioneers. And then what that journey of learning can really take you through as you go through the stages of it, and how we can apply that to producing a better world. So I develop curriculum and build spaces and host workshops and do stuff, kind of all geared around the world of learning.
Okay, how many books do you have out?
About 30.
Yeah,
like
I think I have 10.
Yeah, because I wrote 10. I edited 10, and then we published another like 10 by other authors.
Right. So your body of work, what called you to do what you do? And I heard you just mention a few seconds ago that people can build curriculums around your body of work. So what called you to do that?
Oh man, I had a youth program, to show and prove youth outreach that we've had for so many years, since 2000, right? So we were young ourselves, and me and the guys, the 5%, we have in our culture a commitment to the youth. So so the young is the best part. We always try to get the knowledge to the young. I got the knowledge while I was young. I know what it did for my life. So we were doing youth outreach in the community. We just out of pocket, no grants, no funding. Just teaching them, taking them in, mentoring them, as some people would say, and that led to. That led to a lot of success. It was really, we were really doing good work with young people. But Then I found my queen. I got married, which is a great thing, and it's a beautiful change in my life. And my queen Mecca Wise, she had a daughter, so I instantly became a father because I never half step nothing. So I never used the word, step parent. I was always a father.
Right.
And
Wow.
so with having girls in the house, I couldn't have the young men in and out the house as much as I used to. And I felt remiss. Like I felt like, ah man, I'm not serving like, but you know what I mean? I got ladies to take care of, and the world is a little different when you got ladies, as you know what I mean?
Right.
You can't be thugging it with the men like you used to, but it's like you got the wisdom for them, and they gonna go down bad routes if you don't get to them. So that's what inspired me to write a book, because I figured through a book I could reach a lot of people all at once, and that's
What was
how
that?
to hustle and win came to be.
What was that first book?
How to hustle and win.
Mhm.
Yep, that book was just me compiling all the life lessons I had picked up from my own life, those around me, people that I knew, stories that I had heard, and I turned it into like wisdom for anybody, like just life lessons, principles that everybody need. But then using interesting stories to make people want to read it, right? Because people wasn't reading, and knowledge itself really wasn't cool. 'Cause, like, this is '08.
Yep.
You had to like slip the medicine in the meat. So that's why the book was called How to Hustle and Win, and it's got all kinds of street culture in there, every street gossip, hip hop gossip, but it's a life lesson behind everything somehow.
Oh, okay. The
Right.
question for the both of you guys. What would a reader walk away with picking up one of your books? Give me that book. Give me a small brief. I'm gonna say it with Terminator X behind me. Brief capsule of what they would walk away with. Like, what do you think? But what do they walk away with after reading one of your books?
You go ahead, Supreme, or you want me to go? I mean,
I,
you got,
I,
I got less books. You got more books, so you got a lot. so, depending on which book, I believe the promotional book, you definitely learn the life of promotion from a small level to another. No promotion is bad promotion. Of course, the help book, you learn how to use your mathematics to find out what ailments can be attracted to you. The numbers are simple, people are complicated. You'll know the complications that you can have in relationships, and no motivation for mental stability, that deals with mental health, because a lot of us are going through that. A lot of people are going through that, and I show people the cycles and patterns and sequences of numbers that I've recognized since 1989 after studying all of this, that there's a certain numbers that can attract mental health, both positive and negative, and that's what I recognize in my book. So if they want to deal with mental health, that last book that I wrote, numerovation for mental stability, is also a very good book to help guide people and keep them motivated.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you, Supreme?
okay, so depending on how you get into the books, really no matter how you get into the books, you're going to encounter the primary lesson, which is that everything leads back to self. All roads lead back to self. And that's going to manifest as accountability, but also as creativity. It might become dedication to a craft. It might turn into a research into history and want to know where you come from. So there's history books, there's science books, there's books about invention, there's books about natural health, both physical health, mental health. And they're all meant to be practical guides, and they're all meant to be something that you could show your teacher or your professor, and they see the footnotes and the references, and they know, oh, okay, this has been verified. Like this actual fact. Like, less arguments. You can give it to your mom if you don't want to eat pork no more, and give her one of these books where it break down. Here's why people don't eat pork, and now you ain't got to fight about that, because now she quoted back to you like, well, you shouldn't be eating all that fatty food then.
Right.
And like it's a good conversation piece for families. So I know there's mothers that brought it for their teenage sons, like one of the books, but then they end up reading it. Then grandma get a hold of it, and grandma be the one stopping me at Kroger. Like,
Right.
man, my whole family read your books,
Yeah.
and
Right,
that's a
right,
great feeling.
right.
And yeah, bibliography is very important in back of the books. Recommended reading, that's so important, bro. That's
Right.
why I put
Right,
them back in my books too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's one
indeed.
of my weaknesses. You understand what I'm saying? Because I write my books for the 13, 14-year-old.
Right, right.
None of my books that I've ever written are really for adults. I gear it towards, well, the one that me and Black Dot did the interviews, analytics, my first book. Those were conversations that me and Black Dot were having with other people, and we kind of got deep. So, but even with that, anyway, what is the long, short, and the long range goal that you want your work to kind of? Do you want to see your work come to fruition in other people? Do you want to see it in schools? Do you want to see it in home schools? What plan do you have, or did you have, in putting your body of works together? That where did you want to see it? Where did you want it to land? I knew, when I wrote my books, I knew where I wanted to land. You understand? I'm in hip hop. I'm right smack dab in the middle of it. Minister of information. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, no, I'm seeing something going on in the industry. I got to write about that to warn the people. So I wrote about it knowing that people will catch up to it years later. And it happened.
Right.
Where do you want your work to land? Don't talk to
okay, I'll go. I'll go, sir. Holistically, I want people to realize that there's another world that some people may not understand and may not agree with due to their religious background. And, like anything else, we had to study what is in air, what is in water, H2O, what is in air, nitrogen, hydrogen. If we had to study these things. I want people to know that, especially this last book, New Motivation for Mental Stability, a new motivational guide for allowing people to, be motivated, stay motivated, no matter what's going on. Because some people will read my book and might not go to a psychologist or a therapist, although I recommend that in the back of the book. They might not, but I remember a young man and his grandmother read my book, and she felt better because she was going through some stress. And when she went to her numbers and I showed her the positive and the negative of her number being born under that particular day, it resonated with her as grandma. You know what I'm saying? Because it resonated with him introducing it to grandma watching. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So and I'm not one to post a bunch of testimonials. I just let my work go ahead. I just started a testimonial page the other day because this month really touched me because she really and I said, you know what? Let me just do a testimonial page because this just makes sense. But I wanted to land in the sense of helping people with their mental health. And although I'm not a therapist, I am a doctari of New Motivation. I'm the founder of it. I'm the creator of it. And it came through me with those ancestors talking to me, saying, yo, in my dreams too, not just talking to me in my ear. In my dreams, it said, yo, try this. And I went and did it. And I said, okay. And then I presented it to Lloyd Strayhorn, and Lloyd said, go ahead, Simon, you're born under that frequency, do it.
Right.
Create it.
It's interesting that Supreme Understanding said that, I think, help me if I'm misquoting you. He says all his body of work, all of it is designed for the individual to lead back to themselves. And that reminded me of, I used to hear Soleil quote that she's on a journey of the self, through the self, back to the self.
That's right.
And it may come out of that Eastern philosophy. It may come out of South India somewhere, Supreme Understanding. I'm not sure.
come from all of these philosophies, man.
So, Supreme, answer that question for me. Where do you want your work to land?
So, I'd say so when I first started writing, somebody was like, yo, you're going to be on the New York Times bestseller list. And I was like, I don't know about that. And they were like, yo, you're going to have this many million sales. And I was like, I don't know about that. Like, I didn't aspire. I didn't know where it was going to go. Right. I just knew that, like, it felt like the work that I was supposed to do. And then what I did was I enlisted my community. So there was so many guys and earths that sold the books out of their trunk of their car or in their community or at their events, like that it just spread like real fast and spread into the prisons, right? So where my books has landed is they've circulated through the prison like Naeem Akbar's work did. You know what I mean? Like it's in every system to the point where it's banned in prisons. It's banned in prisons. It's banned in schools. It's banned in music videos because you can't be a rapper with a mainstream deal and put my book in your video. You will lose your deal, or you will go through something worse. Um, my
Crazy.
book's even banned in outer space.
The black
NASA,
astronauts can't put it up there, right?
yeah, NASA will not let you take it. NASA will not let you
Right,
take them books to
Right.
space. The books is banned in space.
That's
So
funny.
so
we're
did you
so I,
it's
I
so
like
go
being on the list. You know what I mean? So that's okay. Like as long as it's in
Yeah.
the hearts and minds of the people that change the world. Like that's really like where I want to be. I want the work to have been in the hearts of, and I can tell when like I'm like, yo, I know they read my books. They talk like they did. And
Right.
that's a great. That's where I want
on.
it to be, to where I can see the change really happening.
Well,
That
you're
means a lot.
right. My name is right up under yours on that list. Cause yeah. Anyway, this is Writers Row. This is Professor Griff and my guest King Simon, and Supreme Understanding, two well accomplished authors and writers. And I noticed writers normally make good speakers. I seen you recently, Supreme Understanding, with a group of men. Look like you was in a
Mhm.
cipher. And I think
Oh
all of
yeah,
us had that experience with being in the cipher. You
right.
understand what I'm saying? Because all of us came through 5% nation of gods
Yes.
and earth. So we're used to speaking.
Yes. Right.
Writing is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Normally the writers are the speakers and vice versa. So this is Writers Row. This is Professor Griffin. You just joining us. And this is a space where literature becomes revolution and dialogue becomes the transformation. All right. So the next question for both of y'all. And in a minute, I'm gonna need both of y'all to give me your book list. What is your book list that you would give to the people? What would you suggest? All right, after this next question. So the idea of a book and you're putting it out not knowing where it would end up. What are the chances of us connecting with the diaspora? Writing, putting your book in different languages. You ever foresee it being in French since the French colonized Africa and a lot of people speak French? How about Kiswahili? How about just in different languages? Talk to me. What do you think?
Mm. I know people have translated my book in Spanish without even me
Hey,
knowing, and
that's right.
French without even me knowing it.
That's
Because
right.
Mm,
the person that spoke Spanish or French or Creole out here knew that their family needed that over there. Because I used to live in
Exactly.
Montreal. I used to live in Montreal years ago. That's where I brought Dr. Khalid to Montreal back in the day, because I was helping that study group, and I didn't even write yet, but I knew that there was a connection because I knew that there was certain melanated people that was also up there in the Canadian, but as far as myself doing it, I just let it go where it want to go. But I definitely would love to see it translated. If I don't do it in this time, hopefully my children will do it, translated into multiple languages, because it's easier to do it right now. If I don't do it myself, because this is a legacy I'm here leaving for them to understand that this is universal principles. They ain't never gonna go out of style.
right,
Never going to
right,
go out of style. And it's going to
right.
be in the hearts and minds of people, because I put that word numerovation in the lexicon dictionary, and it just has to build its own algorithm, like, like Bootylicious just went up like crazy with Beyonce because she promoted it. But if you have enough people saying it and all that, most numerologists are numerovators, or people that practice numerovation. And numerovation only means motivating you with the numbers. That's all it
Right.
means. And I
Okay.
put it in a dictionary and broke it all down and gave it a whole meaning. And a doctor friend matter of fact, it was a doctor friend that told me how to put books in the name words in the lexicon. And I said, all
Okay.
right, let's do it. And I went there. But you know, yes, we do. I do want it on multiple languages. They're already doing it on their own. People will steal your books and do whatever they do. I've seen that happen too. But it
Right.
is what it is. As long as the message is getting out and people are coming right back to me with it anyway, I'm good with that.
Right.
You know?
And you, Supreme?
Oh man, I had the honor of having How to Hustle and Win translated into Spanish.
That's
All
right.
right.
And,
That's right.
like maybe 2010, and it was the readers that did it. Same case,
Yep.
but it was a reader, and we knew that Spanish was different across different areas. So it
Right.
was a reader
Dialect.
from Puerto Rico, Kano Ayala, and a
Right.
reader from Mexico, King G. Delgadillo, and
Mm,
them two went back and forth translating the book so that it would be a Spanish that'd be universal that everybody could read.
that's
And
right.
then we called it La Brega, which is basically means a struggle,
Right.
como sobrevivir en el barrio, en el barrio. So like how to survive in the ghetto.
In the
Like
ghetto.
so
Right.
we brought that book to Puerto Rico. We brought that book to Mexico City. We brought that book to Colombia. We
I
brought
think
that
my
book to
cousin read it too.
Guatemala.
My cousin
Yeah.
from Cuba. My cousin from Cuba. They read it
Mm.
because he's a Moor. He's a Moorish science person, so he's into reading. And he still reads Spanish, and he loves that. He loves whatever information you put out. So I know that's what
That's
he loves.
beautiful. That's
Yeah, man.
beautiful. We almost made it into French, but it just never got completed.
It
And
gonna happen.
I still want to make it happen. I still want to give my French man. I got Kemi Saba and you know, our people in Haiti. Like we got some amazing French speaking community. Our people in Senegal,
Yeah,
you know, Mali,
yeah.
Burkina Faso, like all that. Like yeah, you
Right,
got some
right.
great French speaking people. See, I got
And I got
the trial.
clients out there too.
Yeah,
Griff, I got clients out there,
I've been
man.
repping Traore everywhere I can go.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I be
So
wearing it
listen,
like it's merch.
man.
right? I got something to read to the people. It's going to take me a few seconds. While I'm doing that, I need you guys to put your list together, a book list of 10 books that people need to read. Not if they want to, not if they get around to it, not if they stumble across it in a used bookstore. They have to read, a must read for your survival. All right. Do that while I do this. Once again, if you're just tuning in, this is Writer's Row. All right. Literary consciousness. I'm Professor Griff. And of course, y'all already know that. You should know that if you're tuning in here. But if you don't, no, I'm Professor Griff. And of course, I'm the masses. Of course, Serious Minds. I started out doing enemy minds, because I wanted to kind of help people understand the enemy's mind so we could develop some strategies. All right. But this is Writer's Row. I developed this thing because I know authors, I know writers, and I wanted to bring their work to the forefront. All right. So as we turn the page into power and conversation, every time we turn the page in any of these authors' books that I bring to you, all right, every page is a lesson learned. All right. And a lot of times, if we don't get the lesson, sometimes when we put the book on the shelf, we got to come back to it. My brothers and sisters having conversations with my brothers and sisters from the Native American tribe, the Lakota tribe, said that the paper was the enemy. And I couldn't understand that. I'm studying, I'm going back, I'm listening to the wisdom keepers. And I'm like, okay, but why would they say that? We need to kind of preserve these things. And the valuable lesson that I pulled from that, which was the impetus for me doing this, was the fact that we have to commit these things to memory.
Right.
Like you'll see young children in certain parts of Mecca and other places in the broader Islamic world committing the Quran, the Holy Quran, to memory. We committed our lessons to memory. All right. The Lakota tribe says once you put it in a book and then you take the book and you put it on the shelf, you no longer do the rituals that will keep those things alive. To a degree, that is true. All right. This is why I said, nope, we're going to bring back around this concept of literary consciousness, revolutionary conversation in written form right here on Writer's Row with your brother, Professor Griff. My first two guests, I had Dr. Khalid El Hakim and Black Dot.
Yep.
Two beautiful brothers, two beautiful authors, very well spoken and very articulate, as you guys are. And when they gave me their list, some people were texting me like, man, can you give me that list written down? I'm like, no, this is in real time. You got to write the list down. So I'm about to turn this back over to you, brothers. Give me your list of 10 books that are must read.
Man, definitely everything by Dr. Layla Africa. Everything. You talk about survival, I'm talking about health survival. Definitely everything by Dr. Baruti. Everything by Dr. Baruti.
Okay.
You notice I say everything, and they have more than probably 10 books. Everything by Dr.
got 20. I think Baruch got 20.
Exactly. Anything, everything by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Everything by the most, because that's what saved me from eating bad from when I was young at 14, when I became recognized that I was God in the 5% Nation. So those books, and I mean Queen of Fools.
You're like
books.
50 now. You're at 50.
I'm 58 now. So.
No, I'm saying you got like 50 books you just named. That's like
So I mean, because I'm saying everybody's collection. Yeah, I'm over the top. So yeah, go ahead. You let that go. But
No,
everybody,
I wanted you to keep going because I know you had
No,
some
no, go
more.
ahead.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
of course, everything by you, Supreme, everything by Wesley Muhammad, everything,
Ooh, okay.
by Professor Griff, I can keep on going because these brothers and sisters that I've mentioned have done the work and kept it clear and conscious. Everything that I'm putting out is clear and conscious too. Lloyd has put out, but we're coming from a metaphysical perspective. Phil Valentine's book, The Wounded Womb, he's predicted what's happening today a long time ago with the whole, effeminization of men, just like Dr. Baruti wrote in his book, The Effeminization of Men, of males, and Dr. Africa he wrote the forward to it. And that's why I say, yo, anything. I don't want to do one. I could just name one each author, and they have a plethora of books.
Right.
That's how powerful it gets to me. And then anything that you resonate with online yourself, to tell you the truth.
That's very interesting, man, that you would mention the authors instead of the books, because they have everyone that you mentioned have a body of work, man.
That's what I'm saying.
It's massive. Yeah. Anyway. All right, Supreme. What's your 10?
Authors.
Right. Yeah, I was about to use your idea and go with the authors, but I'm gonna use my favorite works by the authors.
Yes.
So ISIS Papers by Francis Cress Welsing. Right.
Yep.
That's a classic. That's very, very, very important, right? And I feel like Autobiography of Malcolm X is really like one of them good ones because I feel like it take you on a little journey that you don't really get out of nothing maybe short of like maybe Man Child in the Promised Land, Makes Me Wanna Holler, like might get a little bit of that, but like he giving you history too and telling you about Yaqub. You ain't really gonna get that in too many books.
Yeah, that's
right. Right.
So you know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like that's why I like putting it's on a reading list. Like if you don't like even if you young, I know I can get that as a school assignment and it's gonna get through.
right.
Uh Man, I would say this is between one of these three in the realm of business would be Powernomics,
Yeah.
um, or Blueprint for Black Power,
That's right. That's right.
or Black Business Principles. There's a book that like the big book of Black business ideas. I forgot what it's called, but it's another good one.
Right.
But yeah, Powernomics or Blueprint for Black Power for sure.
Claude Anderson. Yeah.
Yeah,
And Amos Wilson. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We always tell the sisters read Queen of Fools, Heal Thyself, or Sacred Woman. One of those two. You know what I mean? We always send that, like put the sisters on with that.
Yeah.
And then I tell people how to hustle and win. That's like I made that book because I needed something modern that I could like put in their hand and be like, this will answer a lot of your questions about because it talk about Illuminati in there, it talk about the COINTELPRO, it talk about the Panthers, it talk about drugs. So I'm like this set, and then for Hood Health Handbook because we got a cosign from Baba Dick Gregory, and like that means something to me. Like he said, this book can change people's lives, and it did. Because I remember that when we put the book out, nobody was doing yoga except Russell Simmons.
Exactly. Not really. That's funny. Yo.
Let me say Soleil was doing.
Yeah, Soleil was doing it.
Pardon me, no men were doing yoga. Okay, there we go. But now we know Soleil was at it. We know Soleil was at it.
Yasser, he's also a yoga master.
Yeah.
All these brothers back in the day, but they not, that's funny though. Russell popularized it, definitely.
Yeah, but I feel like the book did its thing too because we really we got more people because yoga actually got into the prisons after that. Like people doing yoga classes happening in prisons in San Quentin and places like that. Lots of beautiful stuff. I think that's.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
My final book I would say is Knowledge of Self. I don't know if I did 10, but Knowledge of Self would be like one where I'm really proud of that work too.
Yeah.
And that's like 50 different people are in that book. So it made me feel like not even make me feel, I know that I put together a good body of people to show that this culture just wasn't one way, that it was many of us that have done so many different things, gone on to so many different ways of life. There's people that they may not be a part of this culture now, but they know that it influenced their life in a good way and they're doing great work now because of it.
Exactly. That's right.
So, yeah.
Right.
And support
No,
melanated bookstores, man. DTR was at the Invest Fest 360. That's my
Shout out to
boy.
them.
Of course, Nicholas or any Anati and them in Baltimore, from African World. Go support
Shout out to
these
brother
people.
Marcus in Nubian
Marcus,
Books, right?
yeah,
Sister
yeah. So
Nia Madu.
at your place too, Timbuktu, right? You selling books out of
That's
there,
right.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So support.
absolutely.
Wadada selling books out of her places. Everybody that's selling books, support them. Our melanated brothers and sisters that's trying to keep the books alive and well.
Right.
That's what I love about that, man. I love
So
that.
you've heard of this brother from the Ghetto Times?
I remember the Ghetto Times.
He wrote about the Boule.
Yeah.
He just hit me up today, man.
Yeah, right.
Kind of recognize what I'm doing. I sent you the flyer of you guys that's going to be on. I'm going to have him on next week. He has a new book out, man. It's From Railroads to Robots: The Evolution of Power and Wealth, Eugenics' Role in the Oligarchy and Monopolies.
Oh wow.
I find that like hip hop and like music, artists kind of borrow from other artists and get vibes and inspiration from other artists. So it is in the literary world. There's a lot of us, but we don't know that there's a lot of us. I've been talking to both of you guys about doing Writers Row in person. Every time I talk about coming together, I said, man, we need to do Writers Row, man. We could just line up the tables and have people have parents walk through. I wanted to try to do this before school started. They could kind of walk through and meet all the authors. You understand what I'm saying? I think we need to get together and tell stories. We need story time. You understand what I'm saying? We need to sit around and talk folklore. We need to kind of give young people those stories. I talked about Slick Rick, I think last night in my class that I gave, Music Business 101 class, and in the songwriting class. I'm like, how many storytellers do we still have in hip hop? And I mentioned Slick Rick. His children's story song could have easily became a book that parents could have read.
That's true.
You understand? To their children. Do you understand what I'm saying? Easily.
It's a very traumatic story, but yes.
But even when I first heard it, I pulled lessons from it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, really.
Long ago. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I find myself telling stories. As a writer, I find myself, I have a grandchildren. So the granddaughter that I was, that I'm with, and I see, I'm having to make up and tell these stories. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, it's a beautiful thing. So as we close,
it's funny you mentioned Slick Rick. It's funny you mentioned Slick Rick because his last name is the same last name as my family's last name in Jamaica, and I know his family comes from Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? The Walters family. So, which is interesting because Grace Jones is my cousin on one side, on my father's side, and then also Spice is also related on my other side of the family. So the reggae artist. So when I seen his last name, I seen it years ago, and I said, wait a minute, this guy, because we all migrated to different places after that. So. That you'd be surprised that out of 1 degree or 2 degree or 3 degrees or 6 degrees of separation, especially on small islands like Jamaica, that's what they, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Right. Well, I'm not putting you guys on the spot, but I need a closing statement from both of you guys, something that's going to stick to the rib. Do not give me the bumper sticker quote. Don't give me the t-shirt worthy quote of the day. I don't want to hear. Let me stop that. I don't want to play. When you close out a show and you go to your favorite go-to. Revolution is not an event; it's a process. You hope it stick to the ribs. You hope it hits something. You understand what I'm saying? Brothers and sisters, I am because we are. Therefore, I am. These phrases that carry the weight, but we grow. We grow from there. You understand what I'm saying? So, give me that. What's that parting statement? What is that quote? What is that line? What is that? You understand what I'm saying? I remember back in the day, man, I was trying to kick it to this chick. I ain't have no game, no words. I listened to a couple of them R&B songs and borrowed some of them joints, man, from the Delphonics or the Moments or the Intruders. You understand? Hit it with a Temptations line or something.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, what's that line? What's that quote? What is that closing statement?
And pertaining to publishing, I forgot who said it, but he said, publish or perish.
Mm.
I forgot who said it. I'm
Okay.
not sure if it's Franz Fanon, but I know somebody said it back in the day, publish or perish. In other words, publish your story, family, even if it's just memoirs for your family to remember your legacy, to remember where you come from, your lineage, like everybody's fighting for and to find. You know, I have a nice little tree and all that stuff. So, you know, publish, write about certain things. I tell sometimes if it's hard to publish a book out of something pertaining to what you just left, like a job, then talk about your children. Write children's books about your own children, because each one of your children probably has something to share with you, and you have something to learn from them. So publish or perish. That is the quote that I would leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's peace. So I think mine's gonna be a little bit something related to peace, because we've been talking a lot, you know, at Timbuktu, in addition to the book signings and author events, we do a lot of work related to mental wellness. We call it
Mm,
mental wealth, right? Because you know, you really ain't rich if all you have is funds and you're not able to actually have fun. Because I've been realizing lately that poor people need funds. Rich people want fun.
that's right.
Rich people don't need funds. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So when we think about funds, it's like when we lose all the fun in trying to get to the funds, then like what did we actually get to? It's all right.
Right.
So that's one part of it, right? And I know I'm gonna make some people upset when I say it's fun over funds, because they're gonna say, well, you know what? You just telling us how to hustle and win. And absolutely, what's the goal? The winning is not just to stay forever working in the same way that you was back in the day. You're supposed to constantly elevate and upgrade. And you want to have people that you can put on a position so that you can employ and have authors that come out after you. Just like as an artist, you want to have artists that you can help produce and bring out, because it's really up to us to allow this next generation to thrive.
Exactly.
And so that's for me, that's my new fun, is like seeing other people get to their goals and their dreams and their aspirations. And Timbuktu has been a space for that. And in addition to featuring authors, we've been featuring therapists and other wellness experts
Yeah.
and people that are very important to our community healing
Yeah.
and becoming whole again.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I'm an advocate for that. So if
Yeah.
anybody ain't been meditating lately, please, you know, take a moment and do some mindful meditation and get yourself a little bit righter than you was a minute ago.
That's right.
Right. Once
Right.
again, if you're just tuning in, this is Writer's Row. This is literary consciousness right in your eardrums right now. So on Writer's Row, words aren't just written, they are lived, they are spoken. And right here on Writer's Row with literary consciousness, we weaponize the truth. You understand what I'm saying? However you want to view that. Tell the people where they can purchase your guys' books. Let them know where to find you, and we'll close out. Where
They
can
can
they find you? Right.
they can definitely text me if they want to. My number is right here. If they want 347-496-1022, I'll send you the links. But I go through Linktree /King Simon the New Motivator. That's NUMEROVATOR. That's King Simon the New Motivator. Or text me or hit me up at IG, as you see right here. I am King Simon 111, and you could also get to all my links through my Instagram right there on IG. So man, thank you very much, Griff, for allowing me to come on and share space
Oh,
with
good. Thanks, man.
Supreme
You already know.
Understanding, man. So especially with Supreme, man.
Indeed, it's an honor to be with y'all brothers, man.
All
Y'all, I
right.
consider y'all a great family.
Yes, sir.
Everybody can find me at supremeunderstanding.com on IG. It's Supreme Understanding on Facebook. It is too. But I
Yeah.
would really like to encourage people to also start visiting go2atl.com, because I'm working with a bunch of creatives on having a go-to guide for the best of our city, so that
Okay.
people know that there are places that conscious people congregate and can
Okay.
be found. So like if I was visiting Atlanta, where would I go to find the cool stuff where I might run into a King Simon or a Professor Griff or a Supreme Understanding? And we know the kind of place that we like to eat, but there
Right.
ain't no website showing it, you know?
Right. I joined them
So
on
yeah,
Instagram, so I like that. I did join them on Instagram. Yeah, I did join them.
indeed. Good stuff.
Yeah, very good.
Good
Good. Go
stuff.
to eight. Yeah,
Well,
that's a good stuff, man.
Well, I want to thank you, brothers, for responding to the call. You understand what I'm saying? I know a lot of times when y'all see my phone number, you be like, damn, what this dude want now again?
Never.
Never, never, brother. You know how it is. Professor Griff call, we jump and we make it happen, man. Because I know you
Right.
ain't calling for no BS.
Right. Or give thanks.
I
Thank
already
you
know.
very much. I want to see both of you brothers out at the Temple House. We're
Yeah,
kicking
do something.
things back off with a whole new way we're kind of moving and doing things. Supreme spent some time. King Simon spent some time out there, both of you brothers. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So we definitely want to see y'all out there. I'm definitely going to do the storytelling with Warriors in the Garden. So when Warriors in the Garden kick off full swing, bring you brothers through. We're going to have some book signings. We're going to have your brothers come through, bring your books. We're going to tell some stories. We're going to talk about some things. And we're going to invite the elders to come through because they're not going to be around forever.
Yeah,
all right?
yeah.
We're going to
go to Timbuktu also. Yeah.
Right. Salute and celebrate the elders, not only at the Temple House, but Timbuktu. All right. Thank you brothers, very much for just honoring me with your presence. Really appreciate you. All right.
Peace.
All right. Peace. Good thing. Peace. Peace. Let me see. All right. Once again, this is Professor Griff, and this has been Writer's Row with Supreme Understanding and King Simon. I appreciate them brothers for definitely coming through, giving us some wisdom, putting us up on game on how their work, other people's work, and basically how to become an author. This is not necessarily a conversation about how to become. This is a conversation where the pen meets the people's consciousness and it sparks conversation. All right. This is the space where literature becomes revolution. All right. And the dialogue becomes your transformation. All right. I'm bringing books, I'm bringing culture, I'm bringing conversation to the forefront. All right. It's cool that we come on and we talk about what's going on in the news. That's a beautiful thing. But we have to be able to have some conversation where we raise the bar and raise the vibratory frequency and the pitch of our thinking. This is why I decided to do literary consciousness in the form of Writers Row and invite writers. If you know any writers, give them my phone number. I'll put my phone number in the chat, or you should already know it, 678-557-2919. All right. All right. I will be reaching out to the Marimba Anis. I'll be reaching out to the Queen of Fools. I'm going to reach out definitely the sisters, because the sisters, the women, the Black women bring a certain degree of different kind of energy, I should say, all right, in their work. All right. So thank you all very much for joining me. Thanks everyone that's on, everyone that will see this. Thank you all very much. And of course, y'all know to go to www.professorgriff.me for my book, and www.public, the letters NME.me, to become a member. All right. Get ahead and subscribe, become a member so you can take some of the classes free or little to nothing. All right. You can get a discount on the merch, and so we can dialogue. All right. I will be bringing these authors, all right, to a city near you. We're going to have Writers Row, and we're going to introduce these authors, all right, and to you, so you can introduce these authors to your children. All right. Once again, this is your brother, Professor Griff. I salute you. All right. Right here on Writers Row. All right. Right here where literary consciousness is a revolutionary act with revolutionary conversation. All right. Right here on Writers Row. Love y'all to life. It's Professor Griff. Peace.